It was great to win the other night, obviously. We played a full football game. Coach Schembeckler used to say, the team, the team, the team. And I can tell you that was truly a team effort. When you look at offensively, how we played, went out and played. Defensively, I thought we made plays when we needed to. There were some spurts in there. I didn't think we played as well as we usually do, but and then obviously the kicking game and what the return game on kickoffs with field position, punt returns with Jordan Bird and what he's done. Then obviously I think Ariza hit. I don't know, 4 punts for over 55 yards or something like that again. And then, you look at what he does on kickoffs. I mean, people don't, they were 9 yards deep and took one out and got to the 15-yard line. And so you talk about field position and those kind of things. And just what Matt has done with how he's played is really, he's the MVP.
And we'll start with Bryce. Bryce, you with us?
Bryce, I think you're muted. He looks frozen.
All right. We'll come back to Bryce. Let's go to Lee.
Hey, Brady, can you talk about where Lucas has made the greatest growth as a quarterback since you put him back on the field this year? Because he looks really, really different.
Yeah, I would say his decision making is much better. I think being more decisive with the ball. I think the overall decision making, and then Lee, he went to Georgia Tech to run the ball for Paul Johnson, right? So part of my conversation has been, when it's there for you to run the ball, run the ball.
Has this been unbelievably rewarding considering you had a substandard season last year, you had the COVID crisis, you're playing 2 years of road games with virtually no fans in the stadium? How amazing is what this thing has evolved into, considering all that adversity? Can you address that as a coach?
Well, I'm really proud of the players. I'm proud of what the assistants have done within their groups. You hit it on the nail on the head. We haven't played a home game. We can say they're home games, but when you've got to travel 2 hours or 2.5 hours and hard for your students, you're playing at night, there really has not been that. And it's a great place. Believe me, I'm not knocking anything there. But for us to fool ourselves saying we're playing home games, that's not all the way true. And the way our players have really responded in all the situations you mentioned.
And one other question. We've seen conferences where doormats have rebuilt themselves. Kansas State was horrific till Bill Snyder got there. And, in this conference, we saw what Brennan just did at San Jose over maybe a 2-year span, what Rocky did initially at New Mexico. Vegas has been down forever. Are you stunned that they have not been able to fix that?
Lee, I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. I know they're in our conference. We're going to play them. We're going to recruit against them. I do think, there's been some real changes as far as their facility. I know they got a brand new facility that's out of this world. That's something to recruit with. So, you look. The only thing I can tell you, Lee, you look at this team now after the last 2 games and where they were before the last 2 games. Anytime you reboot or rebuild, it's really all about the culture and the character of the program and what you want to have. So I really think that, that's just taken place. They got a freshman quarterback who's a really good football player, really good athlete, the 6-year running back who the last 2 weeks have really done a great job and really they're a much different football team than they were earlier in the year.
And a final question, is Charles Williams as physical a heavy-duty back as the conference has seen in a while?
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty daggone physical for sure, and that's one of the things. Last week, Nevada's backs were big physical guys, and it's something that we got to do a great job with, and we got to tackle a little better and leverage the ball better than we did last week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lee.
Kirk.
Hey, Coach. On Saturday, there was a little bit of confusion on your first touchdown up in the press box. It was conveyed that it was a first down instead of fourth, but I wanted to go back over that with you on, for you guys it was fourth down, so what went through your minds to decide to go for the touchdown rather than the field goal after the penalty?
Just a gut feeling, as much as anything else, Kirk, and we talk about analytics, and there are some analytics, and some people, they'll spend their whole life on analytics, where I think there's a gut to a football game. There's a feeling for a football game. And I really believe that. And, I felt good and felt that, our defense is our defense. And we're offensively, more consistent. So that's why. I mean, I can't tell you any other reason.
Also, after such a long drive to be able to go for the touchdown there, what kind of statement are you trying to send and message that, you're going to try and take control of the game that early?
Yeah, well, you remember I talked about your gut, right? And I got plenty of gut. I can guarantee you that. But I think when you look at the decisions you make also depend on the offense you're facing. And you look at that offense and Carson Strong and what they had done, I just felt we needed 7 points instead of field goals.
Okay. And looking ahead this week to UNLV, is there ever concerns when you're coaching guys who are 18 to 22 or so that they're going to look ahead to a team like Boise as opposed to a team that's only won 2 games like UNLV?
Yes, there's no doubt. The one thing that you can try and do as a coach, and particularly a guy who's been doing this a long time, the different situations you get into, and going out there and not preparing the way you have week after week after week, that's a problem. So we got to make sure as coaches and as players that we're into the details and we're into the preparation.
And in trying to get them to focus on the task at hand, do you ever go back into the history against an opponent? Just in 2018, UNLV was a 23-point underdog and beat San Diego State. And back in 1996, one of the costliest losses ever was against UNLV. Do you ever go back into some of those things?
Well, I think I will now a little bit more now since you gave me an education, because I didn't know all that stuff, believe me.
The players are so much younger even obviously than their coaches. Do you think they look at the history of these things that much, or is it just like pretty much the current moment?
I would say no. I really would. I don't know. Times have changed, kids have changed, all that. I think you can try and, talk about some things, and we try to. I try to give them a little history, but it's, some of them, I don't know if they realize it.
What do you think resonates with them the most to get them to focus on a particular opponent?
I think they know this, that we played with great edge as a football team the last 2 weeks. We played with really good effort. I didn't think we played with that same effort early in the Fresno State game. And I think we went out there from the Hawaii game, and we went out there from the Nevada game, and I think we played with an edge and we played with great effort. And that's what I'm going to remind them about today, because it's for us, we've got to play with that edge, play with great effort, and good things will happen.
All right. And last thing, Looked like maybe a couple guys in the secondary got banged up. Do you think you'll be missing anybody there in particular or anywhere else on defense?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I haven't talked to Pat yet. That's something that we'll do right when I'm done with this and just see where we're at.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Kirk. John?
Coach, good to see you. Can you take me through the final two defensive stops you guys were able to get right around midfield? I mean,
Yeah.
They were set up pretty well in that spot. What did you see from the coverage that allowed you to make those two plays?
Well, I think Kurt did a great job. It's really fun on the headphones because Coach Maddox will be telling you what the play is going to be before the play has even taken place because of formations and alignments and those things and backfield sets. And so I think he had a real good feel. I mean, you're never perfect, but he had a great feel for what they were getting to. We rushed three more than we've rushed three since I can ever remember being here, and it was really a good decision. I think when those three guys gave the effort they got to keep him off the spot and to run him down some, and then having that tight coverage, I think it was really good. And then, I thought the calls at the end of the game, John, I think Kurt did a nice job.
Those are tough spots, right, for your defense. I mean, you're protecting a two-point lead. You've talked about the strength of your defense, but in that spot with Nevada's offense and their kicker, you're probably thinking that it's going to take everything, obviously, to win this game, even despite Matt Araiza kicking that field goal there, right?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the game was never over until after that fourth down. So, and knocking the ball away.
What did you think of the take us through the play call and then the Lucas Johnson fourth-down conversion to Jesse Matthews on that final drive?
It was you had to look at a couple things. We had 3 timeouts left. Do you kick the ball, put them down there deep, and count on your defense and use your 3 timeouts, or do you say, okay, we still got 3 timeouts. We don't make the fourth down. We can use them here at where we were midfield. So from that standpoint, I felt real good about where we were. And then, I saw the ball going to Jesse. There was 1 or 2 guys could have gone to, but I felt pretty good because it was Jesse.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, John.
Eric?
Hey, Coach. Cam Thomas got himself another Defensive Player of the Week award. At least for fun, I looked up his old recruiting. Apparently, he was a ranked player named Cameron Thomas in that recruiting class. Can you talk about what he's done and what he's going to turn himself into to become such an effective pass rusher?
Yeah. I wasn't involved in the recruiting, and when I got here in 2019, he literally, I got here in the first week of February. He literally had gone snowboarding and broke his back. So I did not have Cameron in the defensive line till almost 2 weeks left in spring. The one thing that you knew is a little bit immature, which is, I get it. I was immature. Kirk sometimes is immature, but it also is he loves the play. He loves the game, and he loves to prepare to play. He's a guy who's out there before practice. He comes out and when we work with the younger guys, and then he also after practice. He was a guy who would always be out there after practice. So he's been a fun guy to work with, a fun guy to develop. He takes it extremely serious. And when you rip his ass, he understands why.
Can a game like he had against a guy who's going to be a first-round pick like Carson Strong, can that put him maybe a little bit higher up on some scouts' lists when they say, well, he did this against a guy who's going to be arguably the first quarterback off the board? Maybe we should take a little stronger look at him when we're talking about draft preparation.
Well, number one, he's got another year of football here if he chooses, and we'll have that conversation sometime down the line. But I do think that he's. It's not necessarily going against the quarterback as it is who you're playing across from. He's not rushing the quarterback. He's rushing the offensive tackle or the guard or the center, and we try and give him mismatches as a football team. We try and do that as a staff.
Yeah, it's kind of a broader term. I asked Coach Dutcher about this as well because his program has a chance to win a national championship every year. That's something that a lot of, as we see in the rankings, a lot of Group of 5 schools can't do in college football. Do you ever see a day where that changes and college football is as open to anybody being able to win as college basketball is?
I think it will. Derek, I think as it moves forward, I think there's no doubt that there'll be enough pressure from the Group of 5 or whatever, and really the fans. I think they would love to see Cincinnati in it. Hell, we'd love to see San Diego State in it. So it is something that I think will happen.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, Derek. And we'll close up with Bryce.
Hey, Brady. Sorry about that. My computer froze up. Had to restart.
Yep.
Guy in technology.
Yep, I understand. Believe me.
Derek asked about Cameron, but so I'll just add one there. What's the dynamic like also having Zachary on the team? Two brothers playing significant roles, and anything funny about those two being in the program together?
Well, it is. And, I played with my brother. He was 2 years older, and so we played together at Ball State, and he was a 5-year guy, and I was a 4-year guy, so we played together, and it was fun. Now, we both played on defense. This is even more fun because Zach being a left tackle and Cam, when we do either pass pro drills, one-on-one or one-on-one run, I have a great time of getting after whichever one of them that their little brother beat them or big brother is whooping your butt, and who gets to eat dinner when you go home after Cam you got your butt beat, or are the parents going to see Zach play and not you, Cam? So we have a lot of fun with it, and it's great. They're two great kids. It's a great family. Mom and dad both are wonderful people, and they both have worked their tails off to be as good as they can be, and really support San Diego State and everything, and Cam's also a scholar athlete. He's done a hell of a job. I'm really proud of both of them.
I didn't know you were such a pot stirrer, but I guess we learned something today on the Zoom call.
Yeah, I try to.
One thing I asked Coach Dutcher about more broadly, we've talked early in the season in the non-conference about the success you guys have had with the football program in the Pac-12. They're on a run right now and won at least 3 in a row, and they've got another chance this week. Important programs, arguably, in terms of profile in the athletic department, are consistently winning with the Power 5 conference up the road. And what does that mean in any bigger way, recruiting, or do you ever hear about it?
I think it's something to sell, obviously, right? It's something that we're proud of. But I do think, when and I'm not a player, I'm a coach. So when I look at it, it's not, hey, we're going to play a Pac-12 school. We got another opportunity to play. And is it a Power 5 opponent? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Whichever league, Power 5, we're going to be excited for. But more importantly, we want to play our best football.